Hello everybody. Happy Tuesday. I'm a little off on my days. I have been sick, so I apologize if my voice sounds weird today. Um, Finally feeling like a normal human being after the past couple of days. So I thought now is the time to come on and have a little chat. So I'm hoping to make this a weekly habit of a Tuesday lunchtime talk where we just talk all things fitness, health, um, self care related. Okay, so today we're going to talk about time excuse-itis. Um, I recently was reading a book called The Magic of Big Thinking by David Schwartz. And in the book, he talked about time excuse-itis. And it really struck a chord with me because one of the things that I hear more often than anything else from the different mamas that join our group, when I ask about your struggles or what you struggle with most of you answer with, I don't have enough time. Okay. So I'm here to help you figure out how to make more time. Okay, how to find that time because as one of my favorite authors, Jen Sincero, who writes the "You Are a Badass" at blah 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 books, she says she says time comes to those who make it, not those who try to find it. Okay, so if you're trying to find time, it's not going to come to you. Okay, but if you make time, it will come to you. So, with that being said, we all have the same amount of time in a day. We all have 24 hours. Okay. And how we choose to spend that time depends a lot on our priorities. Okay. And some of us have a million and one priorities, and it's hard to determine what you should do when, right? Now, I've been lucky. I've been a person who has always been very time conscious. Um, I'm always either on time or early. I get anxious if I'm going to be late to something. I'm very, very time conscious. I, get my work done quickly. So that's always at the top of my head, which can be both a blessing and a curse. Okay. So, and I do have a lot of friends who are not time conscious, we'll say, right? And they suffer from time excuse-itis. And this is a very popular thing to suffer from. So don't feel like you are alone. But I want you to know that there are ways to become more time conscious. Okay. And one of the most important things is to determine what your top priorities are. So what I would suggest, and what I suggest to a lot of my clients, is to sit down in a journal or just a piece of paper and write down everything that you think is a priority in your life. Okay, so you can even look back at the past month's calendar and see all the different things that you had scheduled in your calendar and write those down in your list. Okay, then go through and rank them. Okay, and try to find your top 5 priorities. Okay, and I'm going to give you a little hint. One of your top 5 priorities should be your sleep. So I once listened to a podcast with a woman who was talking to something similar to this, and her suggestion was that when you sit down with your calendar, the first thing you should schedule into your calendar is your sleep, and make that a non-negotiable. Okay, so however much sleep you need to be able to make it through the day, okay, is what you should schedule into your calendar every day. Okay, and that should be the first thing that goes into your calendar because sleep is important in so many different levels. It can affect a lot of different things in your life, including your health, especially including your health. And a lot of people don't realize that if you're getting poor sleep, you are, if you're getting poor sleep and you're trying to lose weight, you're kind of slowing your weight loss down with that poor sleep. So one of the questions I ask in a weekly check-in that I send to my clients is, what was your sleep like this past week? Okay, because if they see that oh, I didn't lose any weight this week, but then they had really poor sleep and they only slept a couple hours every night, they can kind of put two and two together and see, okay, so my body didn't really like the fact that I wasn't sleeping a lot. And there's not always things that we can do about it. If we wake up in the middle of the night, you can't fall back asleep, you can try a lot of different things. But some nights we just have nights like that. But if it's a constant thing with your sleep being disrupted, and not getting enough sleep and it affecting other areas of your life, then that's actually a whole nother topic that I can talk about on another Tuesday lunch chat. But getting back on topic, time, your priorities, sleep should be in there in your top 5. Okay, so determine your top 5 priorities. Okay, and those are going to be your big rocks. Okay, so if we think of time, and a lot of you may have heard this analogy before, if you think of time as an empty jar, okay, you're going to put your big rocks in first. Okay, so your priorities, so maybe family time, maybe it's work, your health should be in there too, okay, in your top 5. So if you're telling me that you want to lose weight and you can't because you don't have enough time to exercise or you don't have enough time to eat healthy, then if losing weight is a big enough priority for you, you will make the time for it. Okay, so if it is a big priority to you, and that's up to you, okay, weight loss is not a big priority for everybody, but if it is for you, okay, and one way to really determine if it's a big priority, if it would be considered a big rock, is to figure out your why. Why do you want to lose weight? Okay, and you're going to do the 5 whys. And I have my clients do this as well. Okay, so you're going to start off, okay, I want to lose 20 pounds. And you're going to ask yourself why. Again, in your journal, on a piece of paper, whatever, you're going to ask yourself, why do I want to lose 20 pounds? Okay, and you might answer with, because I want to look better in my clothes. Okay, then you're going to ask yourself why again. Why do I want to look better in my clothes? Okay, and you might answer, well, because I won't have such a struggle, getting dressed in the morning for work if I feel like I look better in my clothes. And then you're going to ask yourself why again. You're going to answer. And then you're going to ask yourself why again. You're going to ask yourself why at least 5 times until you get down to your real big reason why you want to lose weight. And it's different for everybody. And there's no right or wrong here. Okay. But actually knowing what your why is, what your real deep down why is, and not just that surface level, well, I want to look cute in my clothes, or, well, I want to lower my A1C number. Why? Why do you want to lower your A1C? And maybe if you keep asking yourself, it gets down to, well, I want to be around to be able to play with my grandchildren when my kids have kids, right? It might have to do with that. A lot of us don't know what our why is. So asking yourself why multiple times to really dig deep and determine your true why. Okay, and that alone will help you make health and fitness and eating healthy a priority. Okay, one of your big rocks. So when you're sitting down with your schedule, you're going to put your big rocks in the jar first. So you're going to schedule your big rocks first. Okay, you can do this weekly, you can do this monthly. Okay, it's up to you. You can do it every couple of days. I like to do it weekly. I like to sit down on Sunday, either Sunday or the Friday before, and schedule out my upcoming week. Okay, and I put my big rocks, my priorities in there first. So I schedule my workouts. I put them in my calendar. And that's another big thing, to have the time for it. Put it in your schedule. Don't just say, oh, well, I'll just do it after work. Because if it's not written down in your schedule, there's a good chance you're not going to get to the gym after work. There's a good chance that you're going to say, well, actually, I really have to stop at the grocery store because I don't have anything for dinner tonight. So I can just put the workout off until after dinner. Okay. And then after dinner, something else is going to come along. So it's very easy to move things further in the future if they're not already written down. Okay. But if it's already written down, I want you to keep that appointment with the gym as if it was an appointment with your boss. You wouldn't cancel on your boss, so don't cancel on yourself. Okay. Your health is more important. So, and not just your workouts, schedule in time for meal planning and meal prepping. So on Friday afternoons, I have a slot in my schedule where I sit down and I plan out the meals for the following week and I write my grocery list. And then either on Saturday or Sunday, I have a time scheduled out for me to go grocery shopping. Okay. And then a time for me to prep any foods that I want to prep ahead of time for the week. I have that scheduled in my calendar. And this is what I urge my clients to do as well, because if it's in there, you're going to see it. Okay. You're going to be more motivated to do it if it's actually written down. Okay. So your big rocks go into that jar first. Then, with the time that you have left over, with the space that's left in that jar, you can put your small rocks in there. So your small rocks are things that are fun and enjoyable, but they're not absolutely necessary. Okay, so your small rocks could be having lunch with your girlfriends once a week. Okay, it can fill in those empty spots on your calendar. So after you put your big rocks on your calendar or in your jar, then you're going to put those small rocks in there. Okay, then finally, there's just a little bit of space left in your jar. Okay, the big rocks aren't going to fit in there. No more small rocks will fit in there. So what you have left is sand. Okay, and you can fill all the rest of those little spots of time in your jar with sand. And sand is things that are not necessary, once in a blue moon things, things that really um, don't motivate you to do it. So things like watching TV, okay, would be sand. So they're fun to do sometimes, but you don't want to do a whole lot of them because they're not really going to move you forward in any way. So all of the rest of that little space, that time left in the jar, you can fill with your sand. Okay, going on social media, things like that. But too often I find that many people spend way more time on their sand activities than they do on their big rocks. Okay, and that's where we get stuck in this I have no time, in our time excuse-itis, because we all have the same amount of time. Okay, and in fact, in The Magic of Big Thinking, David Schwartz kept saying, I forget exactly how he put it, but something like, when you want something done, you ask the busiest person to do it because they will get it done, even though they're the busiest. Okay, so it all is, knowing what your why is, knowing what your priorities are, and making your health a priority. And once you make your health a priority, it doesn't matter how busy you are. Okay, it doesn't matter if you have 19 kids at home and you're homeschooling all of them and your husband is never home, you can still make the time to take care of yourself. Okay, so I urge you to try to stay away from that time excuse-itis. It's a very easy excuse to make, okay, but it doesn't help you at all. So another thing if you're not sure how you're spending your time, so if you're not sure if you're doing big rock activities or if you're doing more sand activities, keep a time diary for about a week. And every 15 minutes throughout the day, have a timer set. I did this and it was really annoying because that timer kept going off. But every 15 minutes, have that timer go off and jot down on a piece of paper what you're doing when that timer goes off. Okay. And of course, when you're sleeping, just, put down the hours you sleep. You don't have to have your timer going off when you're sleeping. But it can be very eye-opening to see how you're spending your time. Okay. Because let's just take working out, for example. The recommendation is 30 minutes, 3 to 5 times a week. And I hear a lot of people say, I don't have time. I don't have time to do that. But then I have them do a time diary, and they see that they're wasting an hour and 30 minutes on social media every day. Okay. So to them, that was super eye-opening, like, whoa, okay. So I'm sitting and looking at my phone for an hour and a half. I could take 30 minutes of that and actually move my body. Okay, so keeping a time diary is huge. And if you want me to send you, I created a little spreadsheet of a time diary. So if you want me to send that to you, just let me know. Just send me a DM, and I can send you the time diary that I used, because it is very, very eye-opening. Even if you don't do it for an entire week, even if you just do it for a few days, seeing how you're actually using your time, okay, can make you find a whole lot of extra time, okay? So finally, the last thing to kind of help you make more time is, I hear a lot of people say, well, I'm just not motivated. And I truly believe that action precedes motivation, okay? So if you just take a small action, oftentimes you become motivated. So by that, I mean, if you're not motivated to exercise, okay, and if you just tell yourself, okay, I just have to exercise for 5 to 10 minutes and then I can stop. Most of the time, by the time 5 to 10 minutes has gone by, you don't want to stop. You want to keep going because now you're motivated to exercise because you're loving how you're feeling. You're sweating, you're feeling good. And same thing with meal prep. Okay, just tell yourself, okay, I'm just going to prep one thing. Okay, and oftentimes, once you're done prepping that one thing, you're like, well, I still have some more time. I'll prep something else. That wasn't so bad. So action precedes motivation. Sometimes you just have to do something in order to get motivated. Okay, kind of like that 5-second rule, right? Just count down to yourself, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then just go do it. Okay, don't allow your brain to take over and come up with all the excuses as to why you can't go prep a couple meals or why you can't go on a short walk with your dog. Okay, as soon as the brain takes over, it's not good, right? So don't listen to the excuses of your brain, just act. Okay, so those are my main suggestions to help those of you that suffer from time excuse-itis. If any of this resonates with you, please let me know. Okay, I would love to hear from you, especially if you are someone who uses time as an excuse. Okay, I'd love to hear which part resonated the most, or if you're going to try anything, if you're going to try a time diary or writing down your priorities, scheduling your workouts, scheduling, all that kind of stuff. Would love to hear if you plan on taking any action at any of these things to be motivated, to increase your motivation, to become motivated. Okay, so that's what I have for you today. And I also wanted to say that I am looking for 3 busy moms who are looking to lose 10 to 15 pounds in the next 90 days. If that sounds like you, I want you to send me a message, okay, with the word healthy. Okay, send me a DM with the word healthy, and we can chat. Okay, so 2 to 3 moms who are looking to lose 10 to 15 pounds. All right, I've got something brewing in the works here. So let me know if that's you. And I hope you all have an amazing rest of your day. And again, let me know. And if your time excuse-itis is this is a hard thing to say. Let me know if you're going to plan on using any of these tips. All right, you take care. I'll talk to you guys next week.